Have you ever had a hobby, one that doesn't make you a single penny? In fact, it probably costs you money. So why on earth do we pour so much of ourselves into these things? Well, that's what we're going to dig into today.
So let's kick things off with a question. And I guarantee, if you've ever had a serious passion project, like training for a marathon, you've asked yourself this at least once.
Yep, there it is. That's the one. It's that voice that creeps in when you're just exhausted, feeling sore, and you start to wonder, what is the point of all this? And you know what? It's a totally valid question, especially when you start adding up the real costs.
I mean, just look at this list. Sometimes this stuff is way harder than your actual job, right? You're dragging yourself out of bed before the sun is up, you're always kind of tired, and not only are you not getting paid, you're actually paying for the privilege. Shelling out for shoes, gear, race fees, and let's be real. For most of us, there's no pro contract or big prize money at the end of the road.
Okay, so with all that stacked against you, why in the world would anyone keep going? Well, it turns out it really comes down to two super powerful reasons.
Reason number one, a real, actual sense of growth. It's that feeling, that undeniable proof that you are getting better at something. You can see it, you can feel it.
You know this feeling, right? Maybe last month, running 5 miles felt like climbing a mountain. But this month, you're cruising through 7. You physically feel stronger, you see the numbers getting better, and honestly, that sense of progress is just addictive. It makes you want to find out, okay, how much further can I really push this?
All right, and the second big reason is having a clear personal goal. This is the what for. It's not just about improving for the sake of improving. It's about having a target in your sights, a destination you're headed for.
So for a runner, this could be something super specific, like trying to break that elusive 3-hour marathon mark. Or, hey, maybe it's winning your age group in the local 10K. Whatever it is, having that personal finish line makes the whole journey exciting. It gives all that grinding and hard work a real, powerful purpose.
And let me tell you, when you finally cross that line, when you achieve a goal that you set for yourself with your own grit and effort, that feeling of accomplishment, yeah, money just can't buy that.
So, let's get into the psychology behind all this. To really get it, we need to talk about the two different types of motivation that are kind of like the engine for everything we do. First, what even is motivation? Super simple. It's the reason, or reasons, you have for doing something. It's your why. But here's the thing. Not all whys are the same. They can come from two totally different places.
Okay, think of it like this. On one hand, you've got intrinsic motivation. This is your internal engine. It's the drive that comes from inside you, from the pure joy of doing the thing, or just being curious about it. Then, on the other hand, you've got extrinsic motivation. This stuff comes from the outside world. We're talking rewards like money, trophies, getting a pat on the back, or even just trying to avoid getting in trouble.
Okay, now that we have that framework, let's bring it back to our marathon runner. Because running is like the perfect example of an activity that runs almost completely on that internal, intrinsic fuel.
Yeah, for pretty much any amateur runner out there, marathon running is the ultimate intrinsic activity. And why is that? Simple. There are basically zero external rewards pulling you forward. I mean, really think about it. You run because you want to. Nobody is forcing you out the door. The whole drive comes from this deep personal desire to see what your limits are, to find out just how much better you can get. It's all coming from inside.
But what if we changed the game? Let's do a little thought experiment here. What happens if, all of a sudden, there's a big pile of prize money on the line?
Well, everything changes. The whole dynamic just flips on its head. Psychologists have actually shown that adding a big external reward like money can literally crowd out your internal passion. What used to be about joy now becomes about stress and pressure. Your focus shifts from how am I growing to I have to win. And the dangerous part, if you don't start getting those results, you're way more likely to just give up and quit.
And this brings us to the really powerful takeaway here, to the happiness you can find when there's a $0 price tag attached.
At the end of the day, it's that inner drive, that intrinsic motivation, that's the sustainable fuel. It's like the deep cycle battery that keeps you going through the hard times, that helps you bounce back when you have a bad day. Why? Because the reward isn't just the finish line. The reward is the journey.
So, what's the takeaway for you? How can you use this? Well, first, you've got to protect that inner drive. Cherish it. But that doesn't mean external goals are useless. Not at all. The trick is to make them your own. A specific race time is a powerful motivator when it's a goal you chose for yourself, not one someone else is dangling in front of you with a prize.
And this is where we get to the big twist, the central idea. That thing we started with, the fact that your passion doesn't make you any money, that's not a weakness. It's actually its greatest strength.
Think about it. The fact that there's no money on the line, that's what gives you total freedom. It means you can engage with it purely. You can struggle purely, without the crushing weight of failure. And you can feel joy purely, a joy that's totally real and isn't tied to any outside expectation.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. We live in a world that's obsessed with the side hustle, with turning every passion into a paycheck. But maybe, just maybe, the best things in life, the things that bring us the most profound happiness, are the ones that don't pay.